Hello and welcome back to Dukascopy TV. Sustainability is extremely important for Switzerland. It had four main hopes it wanted to see in the outcomes of Rio+20. Today, Ruzanna Tarverdyan is back in the studio to tell us a little bit more about this. Welcome, Ruzanna. Thank you for coming back to the studio.
Thank you very much for inviting me again.
No problem. Okay, let's begin. So, Switzerland is passionate about sustainable development and poverty eradication. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Indeed, the Rio+20 has given an important role of poverty alleviation and sustainable development as a global agenda. And under, if I'm not mistaken, point 58 of the final document, they have addressed that poverty reduction has to be addressed within the context of sustainable development. In terms of actual implementation, we have to expect that the three pillars of sustainable development have to be anchored both horizontally and vertically in all national and international policies. In terms of actual implementation, if we only look how complicated and would that be that in practice and how many major development players have to be involved, one can only state that only at the country level, within specific country development frameworks, taking into consideration national priorities and peculiarities, it would be possible to properly address issues of poverty alleviation, to raise the commitment of national major stakeholders that will go beyond governments and involve legislators, civil society representatives, workers, employers representative, and also major development institutions, not only bilateral and multilateral institutions. And importantly, the role of private sector has been also identified as a key player in terms of ensuring sustainable development and poverty alleviation.
The Swiss framework talks about strengthening international environmental governance. Do you think Rio+20 helped this happen?
One of important achievement, one will say, of the Rio+20 is to really strengthen institutional arrangements for global environmental governance. Until recently, we can assume that that has not been properly addressed. There were some hopes that actually the UNEP, United Nations Environment Programme, will be upgraded and given the status of United Nations Specialized Agency. But most probably they had not been proper background and justification for that to happen. Nonetheless, the final document did reaffirm the commitment to support the activities of UNEP, and there has been a global acceptance that only by ensuring complete and full representation and their governing bodies, they will be able to deliver on expected outcomes. And these issues have properly been addressed in the final document.
Ruzanna, there was hope for creating a Sustainable Development Council. Now, was this actually included in the declaration or was it left out?
Actually, there has been quite a lot of critiques that the Sustainable Commission that has been created after Rio was not capable of delivering expected outcomes. With that respect, many have definitely expected that the Commission will be reorganized and the Council will be created. While there has not been a decision about the creation of Council, nonetheless, the final document includes the creation of high-level forum on sustainability. There is no clear decision yet about the format of its activities. Nonetheless, this itself is going to be an important element of an institutional settings necessary for the management of sustainable development process. If we only look at the number of institutions and agencies, we will not be surprised that there is a necessary need of coordinating body that will be able to coordinate the activities of all bilateral partners, UN agencies, Development Bank, World Bank institutions, private sectors, NGOs, who will mobilize their activities towards common goal. In that respect, there is already a clear beginning of a process, and hopefully during the next meeting of the session of General Assembly, more details of the operation of the forum will be discussed and agreed.
And Ruzanna, even though there was no agreement made in terms of sustainable development goals, how do you think this will be dealt with in practice?
Actually, I think many are being too demanding from the Rio+20, a conference, to deliver on agreeing specifically on sustainable development goals. Unlike Millennium Development Goals, Sustainable Development Goals will be affecting developed and developing countries alike. And here again, there is a very clear need of deciding from 3 individual categories. What are the indicators to be included to be able to measure the progress society and the countries are making toward the achievement of sustainable development goals? And if we only look at the complexities, so how the policies and actions and institutions are leading to Millennium Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goals, it's clear that for specifying the goals, there is an important background research needed. For each individual country, depending on their specific level of development, relative achievements, different goals will be defined and agreed. And I believe it was natural that the Rio+20 was not able to deliver and specify specific outcomes and levels for those goals.
Thank you very much, Ruzanna, for coming into the studio today, and hopefully we'll see you back here again in the near future.
Thank you very much. I'll be pleased to be back again.
Great, thank you. That is all we have time for right now, but please do stay tuned as I'll be back tomorrow to look at stress management in finance. But for now, goodbye.